right. Here we are on the microphone with Johnny Blues. And I don't know if you heard our last podcast, but I went and listened to it. It sounded good. Johnny Blue, we were talking about stabbable things. It was funny, man. It was
Good
funny.
shit.
But the sick thing was there was more stabbable offenses than non-stabbable offenses. So it's like we're all pow psychopaths up in here. Johnny Blues, good to have you here, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be here. On the graveyard hour.
On the graveyard hour. So there's nothing better to talk about on the graveyard hour than ghost stories. Now, I just want to fill the audience in, all three or four of you. Yeah, Johnny Blues had this picture he showed me one time. He said, "Hey man, I got a picture of a ghost." And I'm gonna be honest. Growing up in New Jersey, where my house was located, it was built on a Revolutionary War battlefield. It was the colonists from New Jersey versus the Hessian soldiers, which were hired by the British. So everybody had ghosts in their house. So Johnny Blue said, "Hey man, I got a picture of a ghost." And I was like, "Okay, well, show me your picture." And Johnny Blues, would you like to describe the picture? Maybe tell us the whole story behind that picture. It was incredible, man. It was it was the real deal.
I mean, I've hung out at that cemetery a lot, so I mean, I felt comfortable there. I've never been afraid of ghosts, at least not as an adult. But it was a random thing. Like we were there during the day, the sunset, nighttime came, and then I just started taking pictures. Kind of messing around and seeing if anything would even come out. Because a lot of the time you can't even find certain things. But and on that occasion, I mean, I caught a picture of an orb. That was right in front of a headstone with the Freemason sign on it. So it was a pretty interesting photo. From what I believe, it was not particularly a ghost, but I mean, it was some sort of apparition. And you could tell by the way it moves. I mean, it wasn't a bug or any kind of like speck of dust or anything. Legitly, it was a ball of energy.
I mean, it was a light. I think it was a light, and then I didn't realize you mentioned the Freemason element to it, and that's a little different too. That adds to the sort of mystery, the mystique.
Yeah.
What time were you hanging in this
It wasn't
cemetery?
that late, honestly. It was like 9 or 10.
9 or 10?
It wasn't
Okay.
that late because we had gone there right before the sun started setting, and then it got dark, and then we just continued to drink and hang out. And it was a pretty legit scene because my friend Johnny was really fascinated, interested, and then our other friend there, Jasmine, she was just scared. She wanted to leave, and I'm like, no, I'm like it's fine. But she was absolutely terrified, and once I caught that photo, then she was spooked after that. But I mean, at that moment, I wasn't scared. I was like, okay, well, there's something here. Obviously, at the cemetery, it was incorporated in like 1916 or something like that. So it's an old cemetery, but the stories go back to 1850 that people had been buried there before it was even incorporated as unmarked graves and stuff like that. So the cemetery could be really old. There's a lot of history behind it. So
Oh well, that's amazing. So it's a old sort of historic
yeah,
landmark as well.
yeah, it is.
Okay. What drew you to go hang out in the cemetery?
At the time, I don't think I lived over here at the time or in that particular area near the cemetery, but I think I just decided to go over there because it's like a park, except there's no cops and kids there.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
get to sit out on the grass, enjoy the sun, you get to drink a beer, smoke a joint, whatever you want to do. And you're away from people, you're away from society, you're around the dead. Living people hurt you more. The dead can't harm you at all. At
No, they
least
really
not
can't.
physically.
So tell me how do you feel about ghosts? Do you believe in ghosts?
I can't say I believe in ghosts, like physical, like ghosts, like boo kind of shit.
Hmm.
But as far as like spirits and energy and presences, and then as far as like physical forms go, when you see things or catch something, on a video or sounds and apparitions and stuff like that, I'd say I believe in stuff like that. But typical ghosts, people they'll I saw a ghost, and, the door closed and shit like that. I mean, I'm not really a bit skeptical on that end of it, but versus seeing like pictures and feeling things and actually physically seeing things, is more a belief for me, I guess.
You know, what's crazy is my house in New Jersey. Like you always felt like something was watching you, and I remember we used to have these stairs, and I would always run up the stairs as fast as I could because I felt something was like right behind me, ready to snatch me. And I used to always turn all the lights on. Never had the lights off. So to me, it's amazing that you say that about
Your presence.
yes, the
Yeah, like
presence.
something's there, but you don't see it, but you feel it, or maybe you know it's there, or something like that. Yeah, it's more believable, I guess you could say.
Do you do you believe that there's like a spirit realm? Do you believe like we got this?
Like a heaven type of spirit realm thing.
Well, not like a heaven. Like you got the earth realm we live on, trees, rocks,
Yeah.
tables. And then there's sort of a world that's like spirits, like the dead, or like the other side, like poltergeist, how you say people pass over to the other side, like when Carol Ann got on inside the TV, she was in like the spirit world, and then they had to bring the lady in, and the lady came and got her. Like I don't think that was really like a heaven. It was more like a world of like spirits.
Oh yeah, 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 like a middle world,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
another dimension, purgatory. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think there's something like that around. Maybe not like in this dimension that we're in, but I mean, there could be some type of in between, over and under type of thing.
Like the fifth dimension.
Yeah, I mean, something like that.
I was always a believer in ghosts. I don't back growing up in New Jersey, I never actually saw things. I more felt them.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. I would sort of feel something there, and it terrified me. I didn't know what it was. It didn't feel good. I don't think anything that feels good scares you. But then again, I was a kid, so I really didn't understand.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I remember my brothers, they said they saw stuff. So I remember both my brothers described this guy who they used to see walking around the house. And they described him perfectly. They used to call him M.
Hmm.
So they described the guy perfectly. I never saw him, never ever. Um, but like I would sleep under my sheets in July, like have like I'd say like about 3 to 4 inches so I could breathe. I was that terrified.
Wow.
But they described the person to my dad. Then my dad went and described the person to this guy he was fishing with. And the guy said, "Yeah, man, like that's a Hessian soldier. That's what the Hessian soldiers used to wear."
Hmm.
So I was like, "Wow, man!" It's like my brother saw this ghost. Oh, and there's a crazy story. I want you to tell your story because you told me a story you told me was insane. It scared the hell out of me.
I'm trying to think of which one.
But I'll tell you this story, then I'll remind you the story you said because you told it very well too. I was
Yeah.
like, man, that's a scary ass ghost story. Like I was scared to like walk around after that. So I remember my father built us triple bunk beds. Don't ask me why. He built us triple bunk beds. It was like, man, it was like sleeping on a slave ship, man. It was like triple bunk beds. You barely had enough room. And I remember one night I heard my brother scream. He stayed in like the middle bunk.
Hmm.
And I said, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Why are you screaming? He said, man, a hand came out of the wall and pinched me. So I mean, that terrorized me. I was already a fragile sleeper,
Yeah.
and that just canceled any kind of sleep I was going to have for the
Oh
next
yeah.
5 years. I mean,
That sounds pretty scary.
it was horrible. And here's the crazy part. This part's even crazier. That we were older, and we were sleeping in another room. That we took my parents' old room, and we didn't have bunk beds. We had regular beds. I slept towards the window, and my brother slept towards sort of like the other side. So we're sleeping, and he says to me, "Hey, wake up." And I wake up. He said, "Remember when we were younger, when the hand came outside of the wall and it pinched me?" And I paused. I paused and I said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Because it just happened again." And I was
Wow.
like, "Yo, come on, man. Are you serious?"
Wow.
And my brother Sean, he's not like a play guy. He doesn't
Yeah.
play around. I mean, he has little times where he'll be silly, but 90% of the time, he's kind of like a straight shooter. He doesn't play around. He doesn't joke around. He doesn't play tricks on you. He's not like a jokester. I mean, he's that's not his personality. My brother Keith is a little like that. But yeah. So it freaked me out, man. And I remember they used to tear holes in the wall, and they'd find these religious sort of plaques inside the wall. I'm like,
That sounds crazy.
I don't know what kind of demonic stuff was going on in that house before, but man,
Oh yeah. How old was the house?
the house there was a house I think on the property before from the Revolutionary War, but I think that house maybe the 50s,
Oh, okay, so it wasn't that old of a house. Yeah.
40s. No,
Must
no.
have been just the energy in that particular area, I guess too.
Yeah.
Because I've been told stuff too, about like areas and stuff. I was told the area that I lived in used to be like a hospital too,
Yeah.
and I heard stories about that, but never experienced anything hospital like. But my friend, he stayed in the same room. He said that he heard these two people going up the stairs a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I hear that shit all the time,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where I don't even look no more. I'm like, I hear like stuff, but I mean, it could be the people downstairs, it could be, it could be a number of things. But like the first time I heard this, there people, someone come up the stairs, like I was on like edibles and oxycontin, and when I kept looking, I didn't see anybody out there, and then I had like this like sick ass like panic attack because the edibles. But I mean, that wasn't all induced by the fucking people coming up the stairs or whatever was coming up the stairs. I kept hearing something, and then it wasn't there. And I'm like, what is that? Like, and then I fell asleep. And the next day, I woke up and I was just like, I felt like shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll still hear like people. It sounds like people come up the stairs sometimes, and I usually wait until I hear like like the sound of somebody walking on the porch because that's when I know like somebody's there. I could hear like the echoey kind of hollow porch sound, you know. So that's when I usually get up and look after that. But yeah, he told me stuff like that, and I mean I don't really know, you know. I mean I lived in other old, living in Long Beach is a lot of old buildings, so you're bound to experience like some type of old,
Long Beach has a
old
lot of
vibe.
history.
There's an old vibe, man. Well, they're changing all that now. So.
Well, tell the story about the old guy who bumped into you.
Oh, when I was sitting on the stairs, yeah.
That was crazy.
That whole area was haunted that I lived in. I mean, that was on Elm Avenue actually too, which is also creepy. I seen a lot of shit around there. I've had guns pulled out on me over there. I've been beat up, got chased by gangsters over there. All kinds of scary shit over there. But that particular time, I was on the phone with like some girl or something, and then I lived upstairs, and our neighbor was this like Jamaican guy and his like wife. So there's only two people that lived upstairs. There was only two units, so I was kind of familiar with people that come up. But that particular night, I was like high as fuck on the phone with this chick. I was like 15, probably like 15 years old, and I'm sitting there and I see like some old guy come up the stairs, and I'm used to living in more busier places, so I just kind of move over and let people go. But when I moved over, it kind of like brushed against me, and then like I'm on the phone, like kind of like paused. I was like, oh, hold on, and then she's like, okay, and then I was like, pause, and then when he touched me, that's when I was like, oh, I was like, I thought about it. I'm like, who's he here for, Like, what the fuck? He's not going into my place, and he's not going to the Jamaican guy's house.
Wow.
He was like an older white guy, and when he after like it's like right as he brushed me, like I was like I paused and I looked and then he was just gone. That was it.
Whoa.
So that was weird too. That was a really weird experience. And then when I had told my friend Irene about that, she instantly like came over and like brought candles and like a camera and shit and all this stupid shit. But that led to like this whole like ghost adventure, like fucking ghost hunting thing because we started catching like other pictures, not even of that guy, but of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole property was old. It was ran by like tweakers at the time, probably still is. But like the house was old. The people that owned it owned oil and they owned like parts of the pike, I guess.
Oh wow.
And my sister got married to the older lady's son, and then her parents are the ones that owned all this crap, So they're dirty rich tweakers because they have oil money and shit, whatever. But they own the property there. She told me that a lot of people have died over there. I heard stories about like some guy that accidentally shot himself in the head. That was on the other side. And then I heard a story that her sister supposedly died in the apartment that we lived in. It was weird that she OD'd there, and like she was there for like 2 weeks before anybody even like found her. And supposedly like her body was like bloated and like it started leaking through the bottom units. And they had to redo all that shit. But that's what I had heard about. My sister told me, and then when I showed the landlady, her name was Lori. When I showed her the pictures, she was like nonchalantly like, "Oh, that's my sister." Mm-hmm. I was like, "What the hell? Like that's so weird." And
oh wow,
because we caught like a picture. There was like the stairs that I described, and then there was like a gate, like a wooden like gate with like wooden fence, and then there was like some front house thing. Mm-hmm. And then as you're looking down, like to the right, there's that wooden gate that led to like a grassy area that kind of went around the back. Mm-hmm. And when we took this picture from the top of the stairs, we see like an image of like a lady with like hair.
What?
Like just to the side kind of thing, And it wasn't like an actual like white like Casper looking image. Mm-hmm. It was more so like a smoky kind of foggy kind of thing, I don't even know what happened to these pictures. My friend Irene probably lost them a long time ago. I had never had any of them saved. Well, yeah, we caught that, and then we caught another one of like the same type of woman, but it looked like she was in like some like nightgown, like turned around, like flipping us off like that.
Oh wow!
Like to the side, like looking back or something weird. And that's the one that we showed Lori to, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's my sister." And then after that, I was like, "Wow, like that's so weird," Like she instantly like, "That's my sister." Crazy.
It's so crazy because out here, like used to have the Navy base out here. Used to have a lot of things. There's a lot of history. Here, yeah. It's a city with a long transitional history, and it's like I've never seen any ghosts out here so far. I lived down on Broadway for a while. San Pedro. Now, when I lived in San Pedro was creepy. That had like a lot of So that had a real crazy energy about it. But I never saw anything. But I remember feeling stuff out in San Pedro too, especially
Yeah,
like you
San
said.
Pedro's creepy. I mean, I've hung out there around this time of night, and I never really experienced anything that weird out there. Oh, except that one time I told you about my car when the doors kept locking for some reason,
Wow.
and then my friend was coming out the alley, and then I seen like some hat man fucking looking thing, like a shadow of it, like going towards the back of the cars. And
Hmm.
when my friend came in, I'm like, you didn't see that? He's like, no, I didn't see anybody. And then we're looking back, I make a U-turn, and there was nobody around anywhere. So I'm like, that could have been like some weird ghost too.
Wow. Okay, I'll tell you what I saw in San Pedro. It just came to me. I wrote a story about it. Um, I wrote a story called "Toasted English Mates." I used to have insomnia horribly when I lived in San Pedro. It was horrible.
Wow.
So every night I would get up at 2:30 or 3 o'clock, and I would go for a long ass walk. I would go for a walk till 4 o'clock. And I used to go to Cabrillo Beach, and I used to go to this trail that went by the hotel. I forget what it is now. I think it was used to be the Cabrillo Hotel, but I think it got bought by a company. It's down near the marina.
Mm-hmm.
So I went walking one night, and I swear to God, man, I swear I saw this creature. It was bent over. It had a long nose. It had these long fingers, and it was hunchbacked. It was almost like it was a shadow too. It was like half human, like half beetle.
Like a gargoyle looking thing.
Yes.
That's crazy because my sister saw the same shit
Well,
in San Pedro too.
whoa.
At Sunken City. Yeah, no
Yes.
bullshit. She saw something like it was. She said it was flying though. She said it landed on a rock and then it like jumped in the water and it was gone.
Yeah, this thing was
She was
running.
with somebody too, so and he backed up the story. I was like, okay, you gotta fucking scare me, but
This one ran with like choppy steps, but it wasn't little. It went
hmm.
from one part of the bush to the other part of the bush, but it looked like a gargoyle. Yes, it was
That
hunched
sounds
over.
creepy.
Yeah, and I
I
saw
wouldn't
it.
doubt it.
If I saw it twice in San Pedro on walks. And then this English guy came out and he was drunk and we started talking. I was sober. I was completely sober because
Yeah.
it was too late at night to buy alcohol.
Oh yeah.
And during my time in San Pedro, I didn't do my drunken walks. I mean, I do my drunken walks in Long Beach, and when I lived in the Valley,
Yeah.
I go to liquor stores, buy beer, walk down the street, drink the beer, go to a liquor store or gas station, get another beer, drink that. So I just walk back and forth drinking. In San Pedro, I didn't because yeah, you had to keep your wits about you in San Pedro. You could run into a gangbanger, run into a cop, run into a homeless person. They had like violent homeless out there. They didn't have the Long Beach just harass you homeless. Like,
Oh yeah, the ones that'll drag you and rob you and try to
yeah,
shit.
drag you in the bushes and murder you. You know, San Pedro had those yeah, they had those bad homeless. Lived in the beach and like little caves, and so yeah, they were different. But it's amazing that you say that about the hunchback thing. Yeah.
Yeah, my sister described the same thing to me. I remember the night she came home, she like hugged me. She's like, oh my, like she's all like scared, and I'm like, you're fucking scaring me. Like, and I went there years after. I never saw anything like that in Sunken City. I never really saw anything like that anywhere over there that way. But I do know that in the 1940s, I seen online that aliens attacked Fort MacArthur over there in San Pedro. Aliens actually attacked regardless of you're not going to hear much about it anymore. But at the time, they said it was a satellite.
But aliens attacked Fort
Aliens
McCarthy.
didn't literally attack, but they came over here and were like looking from over there, and the people over there started shooting at them.
Well,
But that they were unable to kill or shoot anything down, and it took off. But they were saying that it was Google was saying that it was not Google, but the government was saying that it was a satellite. I don't think they had Google in the 1940s. Well, they might have, Who knows?
well, they had
That's something else to get into.
They had all the gun turrets.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's
they
why
were
they
all
were shooting them,
operational.
shooting at the aliens. But
Yeah.
apparently, the government was saying is that it wasn't aliens. But I wouldn't doubt that it was. San Pedro's a weird hotspot for energy. There's some kind of like vortex or something over there.
San Pedro
People are really
has
off out there too. I noticed.
it does. It has the military base, it has the housing, it had the troops
Poor
lived over
people,
there. The
all
port.
the poor workers and sailors and
Yeah, it
the
has
seamen.
everything. Seaman.
A lot of truck drivers too.
So it makes sense
Rich
for
people.
aliens. It's just its geographic location. It's right on the
Right.
Pacific.
I mean, look where it's at. It's the coast, and it's like a cliff right there.
Exactly.
Just like Sunken City's getting, it's getting closer and closer to the ocean.
Sunken City is an interesting
Something's pulling it
story.
in.
A whole.
That's like Long Beach too. Long Beach is sinking too.
Say that again about Long Beach again?
Long Beach is sinking.
Yeah, it's all sinking, yeah.
They're saying the water's rising, but I'm like, nah, Long Beach is just fucking sinking.
And you know what's crazy? Going back to Sunken City, a whole block fell into the ocean. Picture that. A whole block fell into
It
the
fell
sea.
in, and after like 20 years, I think a water line broke or a sewage line broke, and then that's when more fell in, and then it went all the way in the water, and then you're left with what's left now. But it used to extend out a lot. Yeah, it was like one whole square block.
That park, White Point Park, that's a scary park, man.
The cops are weird out there too.
They are weird. Like something takes. It's just weird, man. Like people are a little. That's what I'm saying. They have
It's
those
a weird
big
area.
raccoons.
And it's all Los Angeles too, but I feel like it's so separated from Los Angeles. Like even like when you go down like Gaffney or Pacific, you kind of get that LA kind of vibe, with the hills and taco trucks and the Mexican businesses and shit.
That's right.
But I feel like it's like a forgotten part of LA too, kind of left out. You don't hear much about San Pedro like in movies or anything, but you hear about Watts, you hear about Long Beach, Venice, Santa Monica, all that shit. But San Pedro's like it's like the dick of Los Angeles, just hanging
Like
down there,
dick. What's crazy about San Pedro is this: they are in fact part of LA, but they still want to keep this small town vibe.
Oh yeah, because it's like this is like a small place.
Yeah, they want to be San Pedro. They want to kind of use the city utilities, but like even if you live in San Pedro and they have the football games, it looks like something out of Texas, like Friday Night Lights. The whole city goes there. They have the parades. Everybody knows each other. Everybody. They still have the stores that are owned by the parents and run by the kids. And yeah, man. San Pedro's like, I don't know. It's like almost like an East Coast city. You ever go to the East Coast, like Boston or
I haven't been
Philly?
that way. I mean, I get that kind of like small town, like secluded vibe, I guess you could say.
And I think it likes that. I think they want to be secluded.
Yeah, I mean, it's divided by what's it divided by? All those refineries and all that stuff. So it's kind of secluded by a wall of a wall
Because
of air pollution.
it has a different vibe. Like San Pedro people are not like Long Beach people. They're completely different.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
not like South Bay people. They're completely different. They're not like Torrance people, Lomita people, Gardena people.
Everybody in their own, yeah, everybody's kind of different in their own way.
Yeah, they're not like Hermosa Beach. They're not like they're their own entity, man. I don't even know how to even describe them. They're like a beach like Blink 182, port working, big truck driving,
Big house rolling.
yeah, drinking on the weekends, bar going, but only San Pedro bars. Like Long Beach is a big deal to them. Long Beach is like their party city because San Pedro people don't really go into LA. They don't go into Hollywood. Some of them do. The girls do, but the guys, it's almost like Hollywood is too. And people from San Pedro are getting mad at this. It's like Hollywood is too sophisticated. Like LA is too sophisticated. Like I'll see people from Long Beach in LA, and I'll see people from Long Beach in Hollywood and the Valley. Like people from Long Beach traverse all over LA. They even take the trip. They even, take the travel. San Pedro really doesn't leave San Pedro. You guys, it has to be a special event for them to like leave.
Oh yeah, something, huh? Maybe a fucking tsunami, or maybe if there's more sunken city, maybe
Yeah.
San Pedro will become the whole fucking actual sunken city.
Oh, it's coming, baby.
Maybe Gaffy's gonna be underwater.
It's funny when you said the whole Long Beach is sinking, which I do believe it is.
It is. I mean, because they're pumping all the fucking oil from under. You know what happens when you pump all the oil out? What do? Replace it with water or something?
That's right.
The fuck, it's gonna be empty and hollow out there.
Everything
It's gonna
has
slowly sink in. There's sand all under it.
every action has a reaction, and you're absolutely right. When you pump the water out, it hollows out the ground.
Yeah.
And something got to fill that. Water fills
It's
that.
gonna sink in one day.
Well, or it just starts sinking. Exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy to think about it.
You never think about that though. Long Beach is like an oil city. It's crazy. Like you still see
It's very
oil
oily.
wells.
Everybody out there is oily.
Yeah, there's like people in Long Beach making money off of oil. But Long Beach is
There's a lot of people, yeah, on oil around Long Beach too.
like those private oil wells. It's not like Texas where they own these big oil wells, but
Yeah.
you see these little oil wells in like somebody's backyard, and you're like, wow, like somebody owns that.
Yeah.
That's that generational wealth, man. That's that
That's why Signal Hill is its own city, because smaller city, smaller taxes, you know.
That's right.
People that own the oil, they have the Signal Hill Petroleum.
That's right. Signal Hill said that we're our own city. What time is it, Johnny Blue? How long have we been talking
I
for?
think it's like 3.
Let's check the time real quick. Have a good night
Happy
and happy holidays.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, happy holidays.